Hey guys, how's it going? E3 just ended today. Today was the last day for E3. So, just you've already heard my thoughts, and obviously my thoughts have changed after seeing all the E3 stuff and seeing other things. There are also a few things that I've been excited for a very long time, like things they announced last year at E3 or other things, or things that slipped my mind when I did my top 10 things. I kind of did that. I kind of did that on the fly. So I'm probably gonna do a more updated top 10 little list thing later. Also another thing I'm planning on doing is getting my two friends, at least get one friend, a few friends together, like maybe one, two, maybe three, I don't know how many, ones that know something that are like this, know something about games that they're interested in. We're gonna get together. I'm gonna try recording us, and we're gonna have a little conversation of like, hey, what do you like? Hey, what are you excited for? What aren't you excited for? What didn't you like? Rather be at E3 or just what they've been hearing, or because I think I might be the only one that watches E3 through stream. Another thing, today's been a good day. I spent this morning. I slept in this morning to like 10 something. 10:30 or something like that. I ate. My dad and I worked on our little hut outside by the pool. So we were working on that. We worked on hanging the TV up, and took like 2 hours to do. Because the first plan didn't work, and then I'm like, hey, why don't we do this? And he's like, yeah, I guess that works. So we did that. It took like 2 hours to do. I came in. I missed the first hour and a half of stream. So when they were doing an interview of something of like Call of Duty, they were doing Call of Duty or something. Some reason there was something I wasn't very interested in, so I went back, caught up, and everything. And I forgot what game was. Oh, it was The Evil Within. I was watching Machinima's stream and The Evil Within, and I was like, you know what? I was looking through the tweets, and they actually tweet you when they're planning it, when they're taking questions. They're like, hey, in like this many amount of minutes, we're taking questions. Get ready. And it was The Evil Within, and I actually had a lot of questions for The Evil Within because it's one of the makers of one of the producers of it or something. It was one of the original makers of Resident Evil 1 and I believe Resident Evil 4. And so I had so many questions. I had questions like, what's the save system? Is it going to be like Resident Evil save system, or is it like the original Resident Evil system with the typewriter, or is it going to be like a more advanced like auto save feature, or do you have to actually go find a save point, kind of like some other horror games, or will you be worrying about saves at all? Will you not have any fallback at all? Will you not be able to save at all? Is it just like one run through or something? I was wondering about weapons. I was wondering about if it was an open world, or if it was by level, or if you were just in one place. I was curious about that. So I sent out like 4 tweets to it because I just ran out of room. And the last one, and I put just so to make sure they would get it because they haven't gotten any of the tweets I've sent. Because I usually would wait till they were actually on stream because I wasn't paying attention to Twitter. But by the time you wait for them to be streaming, they're already taking questions that were like 30 minutes beforehand. So what I did was whenever they tweeted about it, I started tweeting. So I had like it was the 4th tweet I sent for Evil Within, and it was at @machinima_com #MLiveE3 at The Evil Within, and then it had 4 questions and and it was Stark. Stark was reading them, and he turned around and you probably didn't recognize the picture if you're watching the Machinima Live thing. Obviously it's Lightning D27 is what my tweets were. I think they took 3 of my tweets, one for Evil Within, one for Watch Dogs, I think. Yeah, one for Watch Dogs, and another one. It wasn't Wolfenstein. I sent one to Wolfenstein, but they didn't use that one. It was Steven Larson read it. I don't remember what game it was. Somewhere in between Watch Dogs and it was Watch Dogs, Evil Within. I can't remember what the other one was. But again, it was another question thing. I can't remember which game it was. I'm sorry, but Stark freaked out and he had this whole little thing, and it was really funny. It made my day. Then the next one, Steven Larson read, and they're like, "Oh look, it's Stark's favorite tweeter," and I don't know. It's made my day. First of all, they read 3 of my questions today. After all this week, I've been trying to get questions in because there's a lot of games where I'm just like I wanted to know about them. It wasn't me trying to get my face and my tweet up there. It was more about me like actually asking questions. Elder Scrolls Online. I wanted to add. There's a lot of questions I had for Elder Scrolls Online. They didn't answer all of them. I didn't get my questions in. There was a lot of questions I had for like will there be dragons? Will there is there actual classes, or is it still going to be like Elder Scrolls when you make your own class by choosing what you choose? Or will the races matter, or are there not as many races as there were in Skyrim or Oblivion? Or are there different races? Because it's 1,000 years beforehand. That's just one example. Watch Dogs, I think I had a list of them, and they only read one of them, and one of them was what kinds of weapons and resources would you have. And no, he went into good detail, and they did answer. Whenever I asked a question, they did answer them very well. And I actually if you would have read all the tweets I had for the Evil Within, they're all really good questions, I think, because I play a lot of horror games. I've played a lot of Resident Evil. I've played Silent Hill. I play horror games, and I'm like, I know, I kind of wanted to see what kind of horror games this is like, if it's going to be like the early Resident Evils, or if it's going to be like the later ones, because they wanted to make it like a true survival horror game, which is why I was asking so many questions for The Evil Within. I can't think of what the other game was that I think it was right after The Evil Within 2. It was pretty soon, which is why they remembered it, but actually I could check, just for the sake of my mind. That's going to be a while. It was a while ago. Where was it? No. But anyway, I don't know how long it's gonna take. But while I scroll, while I'm scrolling here, you've already seen my thoughts on E3, and I'm gonna get a PS4. Where me and my other friends are gonna try to get it for Christmas. That's probably gonna be the only present I get. Maybe a game or two. Another thing, but. Really, it was, really, it's just, E3 was big. There was a lot of games at it. There were new consoles. It was a big E3. Next year's probably not going to be as good, unless they bring out a lot more games. I did say Lost Planet 3 on my top 10 list. That's something I'm going to talk about if I do get those guys together. We'll talk about that. Beyond Lost Two Souls, that's a game I've been interested in since they showed it last year. And, I haven't really had a chance. I forgot to mention it because I hadn't seen anything about it, so I totally forgot about it. I didn't know if it was going to be... A question I had for that, but I don't think they did a live demo on that. A question I had for that was if it's more like Heavy Rain, or if it's like a third-person shooter, or like, what are they going at with it? And I've seen people's reviews, and people played it, and they showed a little bit of it, and they showed some of the gameplay, and, what I've seen of it, and what I've heard from people that think similar to how I do, they said they really enjoyed it, and they're surprised, and they can't wait for it to come out. So I'm like, well, that's a good news, and I can't wait, because since I'm going to be a PlayStation player, I actually will be able to play it. That's a game I've been wanting to play since they announced it the first time. Actually, I think I found it. It was Watch Dogs was the second one. Where was the other one? Dead Rising. Oh yes, it was Dead Rising 3. It was the last one they answered. Was if there actually I had 3 questions on there. The saving system, that he did explain the saving system. Anyway, so that was another one of the questions. That's another, because with Dead Rising, I didn't know if it was gonna be like Dead Rising 1, where the saving was awfully hard to do, or it was gonna be easier like Dead Rising 2. Apparently, the saving is a lot easier unless you're doing the same difficulty mode. Then it's like Dead Rising 1. I also sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I also said, will it be a return of co-op? They didn't ask that. I don't know if they answered that before or something. I hope there's co-op, because I love co-op. It's just something I do. I like playing with friends and stuff. So if it's a game with co-op, I'm probably gonna end up trying it at least. And will any known characters return from the earlier Dead Risings? And they said they were kind of iffy at it. They said maybe. They said we don't know yet, because it's off its own story. They want you to be able to. Dead Rising 3 is a sequel to Dead Rising 2. It's a few years after. It's like 10 years after it. But they want it to be able to be played, so then you didn't have to play the first 2 Dead Risings to know what's going on. It's kind of like a standalone in the Dead Rising universe, but it's technically a sequel, stuff like that. It looks a lot more realistic and looks very fun. I won't be able to play it, though, unless I borrow a friend's Xbox or I go over a friend's house and play it. So, we'll see. We'll see about that. So those are my 3 Twitter questions, and all 3 of them got asked, and there's my name. It's basically my face. I'm wearing this mask right here, and it kind of looks awkward from the side, and see, I was wearing it. and my friend untied it, so I can't put it on. Yeah, so that was that was my highlight of the day, was the Twitter question thing. And, you know, I'm gonna get into dev with E3 stuff and video games, just video games in general, with a few friends later on. And, you know, you can enjoy watching me and my friends babble a bit. Because, you see, when we talk video games and stuff, like, what's coming out, why we're excited for it, why do we want this to happen, why do we need this to happen, I get really into it and I start ranting. And then people start ignoring me. So hopefully you guys won't ignore me, and that's usually what I do. I usually record myself ranting, so then I don't go rant to my friends, because then they stop talking to me. So, I'm seeing Superman 3 tonight. Not Superman 3. Why did I say Superman 3? I don't know why I said that. Man of Steel tonight. I'm seeing that with my friend Jake, who is probably the closest thing to a best friend I have right now. There is Alex. Alex is a pretty good friend too, but, you know, Jake's always there. He's been to all my performances and stuff, and, you know, he's a good guy. So me and him are seeing Superman today. I keep wanting to say Superman 3 or Superman Returns or something like that. It's Man of Steel, but it's Superman. I'm not the biggest fan of Superman. I'm probably going to record our reactions afterward, our thoughts beforehand, that kinds of stuff. I'm not a big fan of Superman. Why? Because, I mean, he's cool and all, and then Metropolis was based off Chicago when they made it, which is cool, even though it's more like New York and Gotham, and Metropolis shifted. Gotham's more seen in Chicago now, and Metropolis is more seen in New York now. Anyway, no, Jake and I are gonna go see that, and the thing is with Superman, I just don't like how he's got an answer for everything. He's got super strength, he's got laser vision, he has X-ray vision, he has ice breath. Not a lot of people remember the ice breath, and not a lot of people remember the X-ray vision, but the ice breath is usually the smaller one, but he does have that. He also has super flight and super speed when he flies, and the super speed in general. And he has super hearing. He's just overpowered. I mean, it's like Saints Row. It's like the Saints Row 4 game, which I'm really excited for. It's like Saints Row 4 game where you're like overpowered president of the United States of America. God. No, but yeah. So Superman's never been my favorite character. Batman's my favorite DC character. And you probably can see behind me that Captain America is my main man. I like Marvel. There's a lot more Marvel characters I connect to. DC's got some good characters, like Green Arrow's awesome, Green Lantern's cool, Batman's awesome, but I think the Batman universe, like all the characters in Batman, all are interesting, and they're all awesome in their own ways, and it's chaotic, and it's interesting, and it's relatable, and it's just cool. And I think like people like Batman and Iron Man, it's because they don't have superpowers. They're just average men. I mean, well, they're very, very intelligent, they have lots of money, but I mean, it represents that any person can just put on a costume and be a hero. Anyone can do that, is what it kind of means. And it's really interesting, really cool, and very interesting. Batman's my favorite character. Oh, that Batman, I didn't even mention, in my top 10 list, I didn't even mention Batman Origins. I am so hyped for that game. So hyped. I can't wait. It's cool because they made him younger, because it's the second year of him being Batman. So he's young, he's angry, and he's reckless. And it's really funny because he's got that Batman voice from the new Batman movies where it's like, "Where's the trigger?" Those kind of voice. He's got that kind of voice when I was watching the trailer. And Joker's in it, Bane's in it, and it's Bane before he's all ripped on Titan. He's kind of more like the movie in the third Batman movie, but he's still ultra buff with his Venom stuff. But it's not big old Venom from the earlier games, from the earlier Batman games that they made, which is cool because it's still better than the Bane I liked in the third movie because he was a little too realistic. The thing is with those Batman movies, they're making it too realistic for me. And if you want, I'll make a rant video about Batman, about the comic movies with DC. And a rant about the Avengers 2. But no, it looks great. I can't wait to play it, and it's different. You get some new tools, but they're not as good as the tools in the other games. You have new tools that's because he just leaves at the Batcave, and it's actually reasonable responses. And the tools aren't as good as you had them in the other games, because your .9 Batman is in his words, and in that game you're like fully upgraded Batman, which is a very interesting way. I mean, he looks younger, and he doesn't look as buff, and he's just full of anger and vengeance, and wants all of his fury across it. And this is like the night where he starts changing into that better Batman that we know, and it's really cool. I love origin stories. I think they're very interesting, and like especially if you like depth in character. And you know, they've made great Batman games, and it's different voice. They're younger guys, like they're doing younger voices for the, so they have different voice actors, and they're doing younger voices, and they're succeeding. So I can't wait for it. That's another game I'm excited for. But again, I'm gonna talk about all that stuff. I'm going off, and that's what I do. I'm going to talk about all that stuff with Jake and some other guys. Hopefully, and girls, hopefully, maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll just be me and Jake, I don't know, something like that. I'm gonna record it, and we're gonna post it, and we're gonna argue, and we're gonna have our own little top 3 things, which is very hard for me. There's a lot of games I'm excited for. There's so many good games this year, so many, and The Evil Within's a really good one that I want to play. It's hard to have a top 10, because there's so many good games that are coming out this year. Then, there's some games that aren't so good, and then there's some other things. There's something I'm excited for, but then I'm kind of cautious about. So, that's a little E3 update. That's my day update as well. So today is probably one of the greatest days of my summer so far. It's pretty good. I had Stark comment about me very funnily, very hysterically. I had Steven Larson comment on me too. It was a good, and Adam Kovic was there laughing, and you know, it's a good day. It's a good day seeing Superman with my friend. So yeah, it's a good day for me. I have tons of videos I've recorded in the past like few days, and I've got to upload a few of them. I've uploaded 2, I think 2 were actually uploaded. I have to upload another 2 today. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video and all my rants and dealing with my insanity. So if you like this video, or if you like me, go ahead and leave a like down below. And if you enjoy my videos and if you enjoy me, then go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. I did check. I mentioned that in another video, but I did check where it is. Anyway, thank you guys so much. This is Lightning D27. That's funny. That weird guy that crunches in tons of questions and hashtags and @ signs and tweets. Signing off.